We're in the middle of this huge transformation. Some people are even calling it a new industrial revolution. And it's happening right now, on factory floors all over the world. But here's the thing. It's about so much more than just robots. So let's just dive right in and tackle a myth I hear all the time.
Okay, so you've probably heard the buzzword, right? Reshoring. This idea that all the manufacturing jobs are suddenly rushing back home. Well, the data, it tells a much more complicated story. I mean, look at this headline. It just cuts right through all that noise. The simple story of factories just packing up and coming back, yeah, that's not really what's going on. The reality is way, way more interesting.
So if it's not just about jobs coming home, then what is it? What's really going on here? What are the massive forces that are completely changing the game for how we make, well, everything? That's the big question, right? And that's exactly what we're going to dig into.
All right, first up, let's talk about what I'm calling manufacturing's pressure cooker. Because to really get what's happening, you have to understand these incredible forces that are reshaping the factory floor.
And these things aren't happening in isolation, not at all. They're all connected, feeding into each other. Think about it. You've got tariffs and trade getting super volatile, which of course creates economic instability. And at the exact same time, our global supply chains, which we already knew were fragile, are getting hammered by cyber attacks. It's literally a perfect storm, a real pressure cooker. And hey, this isn't some abstract academic idea. This is real. An Industry Week survey found that more than half, over 50%, of companies have had to raise their prices because of tariffs. So this isn't just a problem for some CEO in a boardroom. Nope, it's hitting us right in the wallet. It affects every single one of us.
So, what does all this pressure really mean? Well, it means the old playbook is basically useless now. You know, the one that was all about cutting costs to the bone and having parts arrive just in time? That whole strategy, it's failing. It was designed for a world that was way more stable, way more predictable. The world we're in now, it needs a completely new game plan.
So what is that new game plan? Well, it's all about going digital. This leads us to the rise of the smart factory. This is the industry's digital response, where technology isn't just a tool, it's the central nervous system of the entire operation. And the bedrock of this whole smart factory idea is something called the Industrial Internet of Things, or IIoT for short. The easiest way to think about it is this. It's like giving every single machine, every little part of the assembly line, its own voice. And these voices are all talking, all the time. There are all these tiny sensors collecting a massive amount of data, creating this live, digital blueprint of everything that's happening, second by second.
Okay, so you have all this data. What do you do with it? Well, it flows through this really elegant three-step process. Step 1, you collect all that real-time info from the IIoT sensors. Step 2, you unleash artificial intelligence on it. And the AI's job isn't just to report what happened yesterday. It's to find patterns and predict what's going to happen tomorrow. And then, step 3, the magic happens. Automation and robotics jump into action based on those predictions, constantly fine-tuning and optimizing the whole production line.
Let me give you a perfect real-world example of this. Maintenance. The old way, it was totally reactive. A machine breaks down, alarms go off, the whole line stops, and you scramble to fix it. That's a ton of money down the drain in unplanned downtime. But in a smart factory, it's all predictive. The AI is listening to that machine, it sees the data, and says, hey, this bearing is going to fail in about a week. So you can schedule the repair for a weekend when the line is already down. No drama, no panic. Just that one shift from reactive to proactive is a total game changer. We're talking millions in savings.
But here's where the story takes a really interesting turn. Just when you think it's all about tech, data, and robots, the conversation is swinging right back around to people. It's time to talk about the human factor's return. This is about moving beyond just automation and into real collaboration.
And this leads to the big, looming question, the one everyone always asks. With all this incredible technology, are humans basically becoming obsolete in manufacturing? I mean, if the factory is so smart, what's left for people to do? And you might think the answer is not much, but what's actually happening is the complete opposite. The human role is becoming more important than ever.
And yeah, this new way of thinking actually has a name. It's called Industry 5.0. So if Industry 4.0 was all about the tech, connecting machines, making things efficient, Industry 5.0 is the next step. It's about putting human ingenuity and, our well-being right back in the center of the picture. The whole idea is that the technology should be complementing us, not replacing us. It's about tech working for people, not the other way around.
And when you put them side by side, the difference is it's huge. Look at the goals. Industry 4.0 was obsessed with efficiency and automation. Industry 5.0, it's focused on resilience and sustainability, being able to bounce back. And look at technology. It goes from being just a tool for productivity to being a tool for collaboration. But here's the biggest shift, the most important one. People go from being just another input, like a cog in the machine, to being the absolute center of the entire system.
Okay, so where does this all leave us? As this whole new revolution keeps unfolding, what does the road ahead actually look like? Well, it's a mix, a landscape of brand new challenges and incredible new horizons.
It really is a balancing act. On one side, you have these massive opportunities. I mean, think about the explosion in electric vehicles, or aerospace, or sustainable manufacturing. The potential is huge. But on the other side, the threats are just as real. We're talking about ever-present cybersecurity risks, and this widening skills gap, where the jobs of the future are here, but we don't have enough people with the right training to fill them.
And that brings us to the final and maybe the most important question of all. Look, the technology is already here. We know how to build a smart factory. So the real challenge, the thing we really have to figure out, it isn't about making our machines even smarter. It's about this. As factories get smarter, how do we make sure our human workforce gets stronger? Because how we answer that question, well, that's going to define everything about the next chapter of manufacturing.